So I've got a book video for you today. I have seen this thing going around on Instagram called 10 Before the End. So I'm doing a variation of that. Hey everybody, welcome back to Robertson Reads. It's been a while. I was actually going to try to record earlier today, but I had a very clingy little one, so that did not happen. But here we are, late at night, I'm recording, and I'm excited. So I've got a book video for you today. I have seen this thing going around on Instagram called 10 Before the End. So I'm doing a variation of that. Variation because I'd really like to read 16 more books by the end of the year, which I know probably sounds a little crazy, and it is a little crazy, but I'm hoping to do that. Just a personal goal I have. This is not to say like you have to read that many books in a year at all. Please, no, don't feel the pressure, but I love the challenge of doing that, and I am a really fast reader, so that really helps with being able to do that. So let's jump into my 14 before the end. I know I said 16, but I've got 10 physical books, and then I have 3 on my Kindle, so I've got 13. So that leaves me a little room for some mood reading. So let's jump in. Okay, I'm going to start off with rereads. So I am actually not a big rereader. I read a ton for review, and so I'm almost always reading something new. So the first book I want to reread is When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer. I'm rereading twofold. One, she's on book 6 now with 7 coming out in the spring, and I'm on the launch team for those, and so I want to reread to keep everything on track. But also I am going to be a guest on a podcast talking about how this book has impacted me personally, and I've only read it once, so I wanted a refresher, and maybe I'll share more about that and why I chose this book later. But I love When the Day Comes so much, so I'm excited to reread that. My next one that is also a reread is A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. This series, I don't know that I've ever reread it, but I remember reading this first book it's the Mark of the Lion series, and it having such an impact on me. And so I'm really excited to read this story again. Very powerful. This is about a Jewish slave girl in Rome, and you can see the Colosseum here in the background on that. Powerful story, faith-filled. I will say I remember the beginning of this one. There's some history, which Francine Rivers is an amazing researcher with the history there. So just a lot of detail to get started, but if you can get past that, excellent book. It is a long one, but I love her writing, and I'm excited to reread that. Of course, I probably should just make books 13 and 14 or 14 and 15 the next 2 in the series, because this is one you'll want to keep reading the series. So if you haven't read A Voice in the Wind, highly recommend. Next is a classic that I don't know if I've ever read before, and it's Little Women. Look at this darling cover, and it's so cute. So I was actually going to do this last Christmas, and it did not happen. So I am determined to try. And since it's only November, I'm going to start early and hopefully just read it a little bit at a time, which is not super common for me to do. I'm usually just one book or 2 books at a time and go through it now, but I think I'm going to go through this one slowly and enjoy it. And my reward at the end will be watching the new Little Women that came out a couple years ago, which I have still not seen, but I am excited to watch that. So Little Women, that's 3 books. What next? Let me go with one that I've owned for a while and I need to read. So I don't know anything content-wise about this one. This one is not Christian fiction. The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. My husband and I, we went on a trip earlier this year, and I went to this bookstore called the Oxford Exchange in Tampa, and I bought this beautiful copy. Look at the edges, and it's a signed copy. So yeah, I've heard great things about this book. I've wanted to read it for a while, so I feel, one, that I should read it because I bought it a long time ago, and I just want to read that one. So don't know much about it, honestly. I'll be going into it pretty blind, but I will try to post a review on my Bookstagram or on my Goodreads if you are interested in that one after I read it. My nonfiction one that I'm reading with my church book club, Known and Loved by Glenna Marshall. This is Experiencing the Affection of God in Psalm 139. I try to always have a nonfiction going, so I'm excited to read that one and discuss it with my church. Another nonfiction. This is an Advent study. I actually picked it up at the recommendation of a Bookstagram friend. It is called Born a Child and Yet a King by Nancy DeMoss Wolgemuth. You'll have to pardon my pronunciation because I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I've read some of her stuff before and really enjoyed it. This is just a short little devotional. I flipped through it. It doesn't look like it's going to have a ton of detail with it, but it's got great scripture references with it. I know it's going to be a good Advent study. Again, going through that one slowly. I'll probably do it. It says a 31-day Advent devotional. Advent starts on, I think, Sunday, November 30th this year, so I'll probably try to start it then, along with my deeper Bible study that I'm doing. A couple more Christmas ones. So this one, Terry Blackstock's Catching Christmas. I saw a reel that said this is the greatest Christmas book ever. So I have high expectations for this one. I'd love to know if you've read it. Tell me in the comments, but I've had this one a while too, and I am really excited to read that. One more Christmas one, and I say Christmas, maybe Christmas winter. And I also plan to do another video with my Christmas book recommendations and maybe a Christmas TBR, because I didn't put these in my 10 before the end video, but I have 4, 5, 7 or 8 books, Christmas books alone, that I haven't read, and a couple on my Kindle, which I'm actually going to show you a Christmas one on my Kindle. I forgot about that one. But anyways, okay, next physical one I have. A Soul as Cold as Frost by Jennifer Kropf, I think is how you say her name. First of all, can we just appreciate this gorgeous cover? I love it. So I actually went to a little local bookstore we have here, and I found this and was looking for podcast guest ideas, maybe a book club pick. I might put this one up for our Faith and Fables. Actually, I am going to put it up for the vote. So I am excited for that. But didn't get the podcast this time, maybe next year for Christmas, but I am excited to read that. Don't know much about this one. I think it's more fantasy, so that's really different for me. I don't read a lot of fantasy, but I am excited. I want to read this one before the end of the year. One more Christmas one on my Kindle. No stranger, you may have heard of this one. My Merry Mistake by Courtney Walsh. I have Kindle Unlimited and it's actually already on, but I wanted to show you the cover. It will not be in color because I don't have the color Kindle, but it's a hockey, sweet, clean romance. Not very much faith in this series from what I've seen, but they're just fun, lighthearted romance, and I like Courtney Walsh's writing, so definitely going to read that one before the end of the year as well. One I'm in the middle of, another nonfiction, is Giving Your Words by Sally and Clay Clarkson. It's about parenting and how you talk to your kids, and just the power of your words in your home and how you use them. So hoping to finish that one by the end of the year. I paused to read another nonfiction one, and I'm excited to pick this one back up. One more physical, and then I'll go back to my Kindle. So this one I also grabbed at a local-ish bookstore to me. Codename Helene by Ariel Lawhon. Also not Christian fiction, so I think there is some mild language in this one. I'm not sure about the other content at this point, but I've read The Frozen River by this same author, and I really loved it, and so I am excited to this. It's World War II historical fiction, which I always love. I kind of take breaks on how often I read those, but I am excited for that one too. So I'll try to post a review when I'm done with this one as well. Bookstagram, Goodreads, if you want to see content-wise what that's like. But yeah. Moving on to a couple on my Kindle. So I am reading Codes of Courage by A.L. Sowards right now. I don't know if that's how you say her name either. But it's another World War II historical fiction. Wait, is it World War II? World War I? I'm not sure. It might be World War I, actually. But I am enjoying that one so far. It's actually a really old NetGalley one that I had, and I'm trying to clear some of my NetGalley. NetGalley, if you're not familiar, is like a reviewer website. Anyone can sign up for it. It's a great way to get started. If you're interested in reviewing books, check out NetGalley. But yeah, Codes of Courage. I'm in the middle of that one, hoping to finish that one by the end of the year. And then one more that I'll share for today is Track of Courage by Susan May Warren. It's the first in her new series that she's coming out with. It actually comes out in January, so this is an arc for me. I believe it's Call of the Wild is the name of the new series. But she's going to be my first guest on the Faith and Fables podcast next year. So I am really excited to talk with her. I actually got to meet her this summer. So now, like, reading one of her books and getting to interview her, I am so excited. So that is my very loose 10 before the end, which is more like hopefully about 16 before the end. Yeah, so I am hoping to get lots more reading in before the end of the year. I would love to hear if you have a list of 10 before the end, or however many. Maybe it's just one, maybe it's 2 or 3, maybe it's more than 10. Come tell me what you are trying to finish reading this year, and I hope you have a great day. Happy reading!